Hey, what's up, guys? It is the Ace Michael Show. And if you haven't seen my abs, just know that I'm built like Dwayne Johnson underneath these clothes. I'm just saying. So, listen, it's International Women's Month is what we're celebrating right now. It's International Women's Month. Now, the first thing I want to say about that is that I shouldn't have to announce that. We should already know it because it should be such a big freaking deal that I shouldn't have to come on the air and say, oh, hey. It's Black History Month. Hello. It's still Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? So these months that we're giving out, I don't even know what is the point? Like, what do women get during International Women's Month? You would think you get a Whopper for free or some shit. Like, come on, it's Women's Month. I'm a woman. I got ovaries. Hook me up. You know what I'm saying? Now, speaking of the ovaries, I know we constantly talk about ovaries on this show, but speaking of ovaries, the guest that was on the show earlier, see how my voice went down? I'm in serious mode now. The guest that was on the show earlier was mentioning that trans women are not women because they weren't born women. And that was a subject for much debate during that show. We had three people in the studio and we all had a different opinion about it. I'm not telling you mine. You have to subscribe, like, and share to find out what I said. But it did kind of call to mind, when you're going to celebrate Women's Month, what exactly constitutes a woman? So today on the show, I brought in the most feminine, beautiful woman that I have ever seen. I'm talking ever in life. Like you know how the coyote in the cartoon goes like, bing, 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 bing. That's me right there. Anyway, welcome to the show for the first time. Samiha is with us today. Samiha, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing muy excelente.
Good. I'm very happy to be here.
So you're clearly a woman. If you guys could see what I'm seeing, like here's what she's wearing. She's got on some cute little shoes. They're cute little shoes, and then she's got this like kind of like if you could imagine like one of the Marvel Avengers. She's got this whole black cat suit thing going on, and it's sexy. I mean, you know what I mean? I hope I'm not offending anybody by saying that.
No.
The woman is sexy. Okay? The girl is mine. She's sexy, man. So anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank
So
you.
let me start off by asking you, because I think you know a lot. I just do. I don't know that for a fact, but I think you know a lot. So in your opinion, what is a woman? What constitutes a woman? What's the difference between a woman and a man in drag, or a man who's had a sex change? What makes you a woman?
So I'm just gonna say, in my opinion, because my opinions are pretty strong, and I get a lot of, people a bit offended by how blunt I am, but I am straightforward, and I think that being a woman and it just encapsulates somebody that has developed themselves into the woman that they are, like by trial and tribulations, by all of the things that happen to many of women when they're younger that they need to either, rise from or be defeated by, and then get to know themselves and rise back up. I think that the trans community or the LGBTQ community, I understand the identity of a woman. Like, I am woman because I am proud to be a female, as opposed to I'm a woman because I like developed myself into the woman that I am today. It takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of battling inner demons with, like, especially in today's society, with confidence and with media and the way that it's projected that you need to look one way or another, and you need to be this way or another, and have kids and get married, and
Right.
be a woman of the family, as opposed to just like who you are today, like after all of those things that pull on you and depend on you and all those other things. Of course, a man has his place, and it's just, it's, it's similar, but a woman, it's a lot of like moral responsibility and a lot of emotional responsibility, and it's a
Hmm.
lot of that. And I think that, it's beautiful. Like, women are absolutely beautiful, and should be celebrated. I mean, I think both should be celebrated. I'm definitely not a feminist by
Mm-hmm.
any means. I absolutely love men. I have like I'm all for equality and everything else. So, but
But isn't there a place for a man? Like, okay, so, in work, okay, you're going to have men and women. You got to get along with men. And as a woman, do you ever feel like there's certain things that a man is good for that a woman is not? That you need a man to do some of these
absolutely.
things. And I don't mean like changing a flat tire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there's certain places where a man just fits. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I think that the ideologies back in the day, not like hunt and gather, but similar to that in today's society should stick. I think that men have that place. And I think that in like how it's been in the last 10 years, it's been kind of veering towards men having way too much femininity, way too much of like I hate women kind of stance, because it's all kind of going backwards in some aspect in
You
my
know what? I
opinion.
agree with that.
Um,
It is.
yeah.
It's really curious how and maybe that's the cycle of human life because we weren't around 1,000 years ago.
Right.
Maybe that's what we do. Is eventually a society evolves to a point where they get to. I mean, because if you think about it, okay, if you were to go back to like Cleopatra was a world leader, right? And then we in America, we just recently went through this whole thing. We ain't nobody we ain't gonna get no female president. My president gotta have a penis or I don't want no
Yeah,
president.
definitely.
Right. But now eventually we will get around to
Right.
recognizing that women are probably better leaders. Look
Right.
at who runs the family, like you said. Look
Yeah.
at who runs an office generally better.
Yeah.
Seems to me they probably could run a country too.
Right.
Why not let them?
Yeah.
But there are places where men fit in. Now, I asked this question earlier. I know on my show I never mean to offend people, but it is kind of fun. But have you ever been mistaken for trans or all the time?
All the time.
No.
All the time.
With-
Not in real life. Only by trolls online. I wouldn't say that most of them are being honest.
Oh, interesting.
But I do get a lot of people commenting saying that's a man, that's a guy, that's a he. And you know what? I do not take any offense towards it because there are so many of them.
Interesting.
There's so many of them, and it's like you wouldn't know. I've been around a lot of beautiful trans people in the porn industry, and you would never ever know unless like they took their dick out. You would not know
Yeah.
until that point. So I don't take offense at all. I think that they have every right to point out that that's probably a guy because they also don't like to tell people until last minute, and I don't think that that's
No,
proper at all.
that's the part that's not really cool. Like,
It's not.
hey man, don't be taking your pants off in the other room and then come out with the whole what they
like-
call it the crying game situation is not cool at all.
I'm not accepted and blah blah blah. Like
Yeah.
just be honest with it straight up. Like you know who you are. You've developed yourself enough to be this proud of it. So why
Right.
don't you just know that you are who you are and just tell people before they need to find out another way.
It's like a situation that happened. This is a true story in L.A. I was walking past. A cop had stopped someone and was doing the whole cop thing. And I heard the partner cop goes, "Are you a ma'am? And I thought that was hilarious. Like, oh my God. But that's where we live now. That's where
Yeah.
things are. Like, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with anything at all a human wants to do. It's
Right.
your conscience. If
Right.
you can live with it, we can live with it.
Right.
But here's where I draw the line. I personally, I don't care what you do in your bedroom.
Right.
That's your business. That don't make
Exactly.
that be the defining thing that you
Exactly.
tell everybody. Like, oh hey, I like anal. Well, that's your
Yeah,
business. We don't need to. I
exactly.
don't care. What does
Exactly.
that have to do with me? I'm not going to vote for you because I know that you swing both ways or you
Right.
swing over the top of the way or
Right,
through the
through
way
the
or
way.
under the way.
Yeah.
None of that matters to me. I just want the world to be a beautiful place.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you brought up for just a second, you said about the porn industry, which is a real thing. It's a real, when I was a kid, because I'm an old grown ass man, right? there was not really a porn quote unquote industry. There were pornographers.
Right. And they were just
and there were a few of those.
Yeah.
But there wasn't like now. Like porn is definitely like the Disneyland of sex.
Yeah.
Like you can get any kind of porn you want anytime, anywhere.
Yes.
So does that ever affect you wanting to date someone or someone wanting to date you? Like, you know, because guys, I mean, you date guys and girls, or you just date guys?
Well, I did. Well, yes, I dated girls in the past.
I would think that would be so fucking problematic.
It is, and I regretted it every time.
I can imagine too.
It is.
Really, man? I'm like, you're bludgeoned for punishment, aren't you?
They're so beautiful. Like, I can't.
No.
You know what I mean? But like, I dated a couple of them. I'm like, I can't do this stuff. No. This is not for me. I can't.
I can barely.
I can just, you know, we can have fun and then just like go, because I can't do it. Like, they're actually really difficult. But I'm actually married, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's an extra layer.
Right. So I didn't. I'm in the lifestyle community, and before I met him, I was.
So for the people we're talking about, that's poly, and you
like,
guys swing, and
yeah, it's like it's like open to that kind of, you know. There's
welcome to Las Vegas.
Yes, yes, and I was single in that community for a couple of years. So
Interesting.
I dated a couple guys. I tried to date a couple guys here and there. I didn't really have problems with men in general, like accepting me or anything, because I'm fully accepting of myself. And I think just the way that I am in general, and I'm very much deeper than all of those things. So I never had a problem with it. But when I met my husband, he was like all for everything that I'm doing. And he's like the best like partner in the world.
Well, he better be
supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
You're a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I've never, that's not true. I slept with some porn stars, but we didn't date. We were just having casual fun.
Yeah.
And I had to think about it at that time. Like, am I comfortable enough with this to make this be a regular thing?
Right. It is a big leap.
I didn't have any real problems essentially with it, because I look at it like, if I was dating someone who was going out on Wednesday nights and seeing someone else, I wouldn't know, nor would I care. And if I saw her on Friday, I don't know what she did during the week. Right. So I really couldn't worry about it. So if someone told me up front, if they were like, look, just so you know, this vagina's in business. There's going to be lots of trains going up in this track. Okay, well, it is what it is. Right. And then I get to decide. Right. Not saying that I would want that, but I'm just saying. So, okay, so you're married, you have kids?
No. No, I just have like a stepkid now.
I wish you'd have brought your husband. Damn it.
Yeah.
Bring your husband. If you come back again, I want to talk to him.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to pick his brain.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's crazy shit. Yeah. So do you guys watch your porn together?
Oh, yeah. He loves it.
He loves watching your porn?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. That's probably the thing. He might just be saying that.
No, I thought that. I actually thought that. But he and I are very much into like, I don't know how much I can say here without him getting weirded out by it. But
let's
like,
don't start no lawsuits on my show.
No. He's like totally open to everything else. But he's really into group play. So he's in, well, not group play. I shouldn't say group play. He's into having me get fucked by men a lot.
So he gets into that.
Like a lot. Like so that if that's his like thing that he likes, more than girls, more than anything like else. So I didn't believe him in the beginning, and I'm like, wanna watch this? Like,
happy birthday, Daddy.
Like, yeah. Like, absolutely. And then I sit there, I'm like, you really enjoy this, don't you? Like, okay.
Wow.
I just, it's a different kind of human, you know? It's like, and I think that that's something that I'd like to talk about too. The amount of confidence and the amount of like certainty in yourself it takes to like be a part of this organization, this kind of like lifestyle. It takes a lot. And me being in the lifestyle as a single female and seeing all the couples around me and understanding their dynamics and understanding, their regulations, their rules, how they situate themselves in the household, how they are in play parties. I learned so much about about that, about like how much strength it actually takes. A lot of people just look at it and they roll their eyes and they get grossed out and they're like, oh, that's gross. Like, why would you, go and fuck like random people, or like go meet like random people to go fuck and fuck their wives?
Doesn't everybody fuck random people? I mean, somebody that you fucked was random at some point.
Right.
Before they became your boyfriend, he
Right.
was a random guy at a bar.
Right.
And you were willing to go home with him. Then what's the difference? I got to ask you a question that I've always wanted to ask somebody who was a professional. I've met strippers, I've met escorts, I've met porn stars. Do you ever feel like a girl says, oh, I'm a stripper, I would never be a porn star? Or you see like the girls out on Fremont Street dressed as cops with
Right.
their asses hanging out, their
Right.
titties hanging out. Do you ever feel like, okay, so why are you looking at me funny when you're out here working for far less money, maybe, and doing far more
Well,
than
for
I would
sure,
ever do?
For sure. Every women are the most judgy things in the whole world. So yes, they do judge each other like that. But it's just like, what I get the most of is like married women that would come to me, like, because I do makeup and stuff, so they'd be sitting in my chair, and if they've heard about it or they see like my pictures on the wall or my house, because it's all over the place, I'm very open about it, and they'll just be like, oh, I wish that I would have done more. Like, I wish that, like, back when I was, whatever, I was like, oh, I would never, whatever that is. And then it's like, but the whole time I wish that I did. So a lot of people say that, like, when they say, like, I'd never do that. Oh, my God. Like, how could you do that? It's because they actually want to be able to do that.
I can see that.
Like, there's an inner self in there, like, wanting to explore, wanting to expand, wanting to, like, be more feminine and hypersexual and be able to express that in some form. And it's just jealousy. Like, it's just rooted from jealousy when people do that. Because otherwise they wouldn't say anything to say.
I think it's the same for guys. I think as a man myself, I look at a porn and I'm like, dude, I'm envious of that guy's cock. Like, I know I couldn't be still going. I fast forward it almost to the good part, and it still has another 12 minutes, and he's still hard as fuck. So good job on you, dude. But I know I can't do it. So that's very interesting. So I'll tell you a quick funny porn story.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told this on the show, but it's a true story. So I used to work in LA. I used to work for Scotty Lazarus, was a casting director. And we had a job working on a Metallica video, but it was going to be seen only in Europe. So it was going to be full nudity for the girl. And it was paying $10,000. It's Metallica. You know, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So we in the office, we were like, okay, who can we get actresses that have great bodies, are willing to show their body off and get fully naked? Because, Hollywood, you've been to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Listen to me, my friends. Escúchame. Hollywood is on some bullshit. Okay, I just want to say that between us, don't clap if you're driving, but pull over to the side and just agree with me.
Definitely.
Nod vigorously. Hollywood is on some bullshit.
Yeah.
So anyway, all these Hollywood girls were like, I won't get naked. I don't take my career. It might ruin my career. But you ain't got no career. Bring my fucking plate over here.
Right.
Anyway, waitress. So anyway,
Lord.
So long story short, so during the time that these porn stars were coming in, and the husbands of the porn stars and the manager husbands of the porn stars were coming in, I got the chance to ask the most crazy questions I always wanted, because clearly I love to ask crazy questions.
Yeah.
So the one question that came up with a lot of people is I asked, how did you get started in porn? And then the second question was, how do you even bring it up? Like, if you and I were hanging out and I didn't know that you did adult films, I mean, I know I'm a big guy and I seem like I can say stuff on the radio, but like in real life, I'm not going to say to you, hey, you want to make a movie sucking somebody's dick? Like, I don't get that, right? So I was asking the question. So the first answer that was just timeless, the guy says, well, I asked him, how did you get into porn and why? And he says, well, I'm going to tell you, Ace. He goes, I got in originally for the money, because it was a lot of money 10 years ago to go out and, have sex with somebody and get paid the kind of money that they were paying. I was like, I'm in, count me in. That's easy. He goes, but now it's not so much money. And this is his quote. He says, "Now it's not so much money. And I got to be honest, when you're sitting there on your back, looking up into somebody's asshole, you think, there's got to be more to life than
Oh my
this.
God.
There's got to be." Right? So that was the one I thought was a tremendously funny answer. The other one was I asked this guy who was a manager. He was to this day, I've never met anybody who struck me as this motherfucker has sex as often as sex can be had. He probably has sex on his way from the kitchen to the fucking dining room. Like, this guy is a sex machine, right? So I asked him, how do you bring it up? Like, what do you say to like break the ice and like start the conversation? And he said, well, I'll be honest with you, Ace. I like to just use the upfront approach, you know? Because the other day I was walking down Sunset Boulevard and I saw this beautiful girl. And I just walked up to her. I gave her my business card. And I said, my God, you are a beautiful, stunning woman. I would like to make a movie with you sucking my cock. And I was like, whoa.
Yes, well, if he is Australian, he's definitely one of those people because they are so upfront.
I was like, wow. Well,
Australians are, oof,
you're only going to get 1 or 2
they
replies.
literally will just lay it right on you. Like,
wow.
I love that, though.
So I'm trying to think of all the questions my listeners would love for me to ask a real bona fide porn star. One of the things that's curious in my mind is, do you ever feel marginalized as a woman? Do you ever feel like, oh, I'm just tits and ass? That's the only reason I'm on the set right now is because you need a girl to fuck. If it wasn't for me, you'd have no movie.
No.
Okay.
No, because I'm not like a part of an agency where I'm getting casted for a scene. I'm an independent porn star. So I take I take the scenes as I choose to take them.
Okay.
And the scenes that I choose are like because of me. So
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I see that.
no, but if I ever was just tits and ass, that'd be a turn on for me anyway. I really don't care.
Interesting.
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
And this is a career, and I know this is always the caveat, and I didn't really mean to talk this much about porn. I wanted to talk about some other stuff too, and so hopefully if we run out of time, you'll come back and do the show again.
Absolutely.
But now that we are on this topic, what I wanted to ask you was, you know, behavior on the set. There's been a few, like I look at it like this. There's been a few porn actresses that have said things like they got raped on a set or they got treated unfairly on a set. Now, in the grand scheme of things, you could say, well, there's a few people who try to sue Walmart too. Like, there's somebody that's unhappy no matter what. You start seeing 5,000 people a week, somebody's going to be unhappy.
Definitely.
But would you say, in your opinion and your experience, that most of what goes on in shooting an adult film is professional?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You got a little baby hesitation.
Yes. I mean, it's different because in the porn industry, if you're on set like with a company, it's different than if you're just doing porn with other people that are doing porn. Like if you're doing porn for browsers, right? Of course, yes, it will be
everything's professional. Hair, makeup, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, but if you're just doing
table.
porn like in your house with friends that are also doing porn, then no, it's not always professional.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like, it seems like there would be a gray area there.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, just pointedly question. What's good about doing porn, in your opinion? What's your favorite thing? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me a short list of what makes it worth it for you. What makes it great for you? And let me say, while you're thinking about that, let me just say this as a caveat. Not a caveat, but as a disclaimer, I find absolutely nothing wrong with it. So I'm not asking you like in a shaming, like, why would you want to do that? I'm a Christian. I think you should. No, hey, look, I look at porn. I might even be addicted to porn. I might even be addicted to not paying my bills. I don't know. But my point is that for me, I have absolutely no problem with it.
Right.
But I'm just curious because I haven't been on a set. I've never directed a film. I've never been in a film. I'm just curious. What is it that makes it great for you?
Like you said earlier, for one point is people in the porn industry and people in like the lifestyle community are like such good people, and I really enjoy those type of people that are more open-minded, that are more like universal and kind of like just outgoing and out there and personable and like cool. nonchalant type people. I just love being around people like that in general, instead of people that are, kind of tight and wound up and all that other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That's how I feel when I'm not in like the vicinity of those type of people. But aside from meeting great people, I have always been like a very sexually charged person, like since I was so young, and it's good to have an outlet to be able to express that through and like get that out. For me specifically, like that's
And
just
if you can
something
get
I
paid too.
right, and I'm getting paid for it, and I'm like building a brand, like my brand in totality, because there's a lot going on, but it's part of my brand. Um and also I just love watching myself. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but like I think that a lot of people do in some way, and they don't want to like say it, or maybe they just
No, I totally agree. I've said
yeah.
that on stage. I've said that doing stand up. I
Yeah.
said, the confidence that you must have to be a porn star.
Yeah.
Like, just think about it. Like, somebody is filming you, there's a camera
It's
on
like-
your cock.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm giving it to her. Ah, I'm getting it. I'm really, I'm sharing it. Whatever yeah, I totally think it would be a confidence builder. It couldn't possibly not be a confidence builder. And there's some people that I consider like my favorites. You're one of my favorites, by the way.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to talk about favorites and you not be one. That's why you're here. But no, there's some people that I consider my favorites, and I've watched their career
Yeah.
over a few years, and I remember when they were like skinny and awkward, and now they're a little bit more glamorous.
Yeah.
They're a little more confident.
Yeah.
I know this one. I'm not going to mention any names. Joe Biden. But anyway, there's this one porn star whose name rhymes with Mirak Orama. And anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. I do not want to hear from their lawyers. I'm just joking. But anyway, there's one porn star that starting off, she was literally the most awkward thing.
Yeah.
And then she got more movies, and then she's popping up like on Brazzers and Reality Kings, and she's doing bigger jobs.
Yeah.
So she got more glamorous, and then she started doing more dialogue. Like, it was at first it was
Yeah,
like,
it
oh hey, are
takes
you here for the
time.
casting, or did you need a bottle of milk?
Yes.
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 And then now she's like got these full dialogue. She's like, hitherto thou shalt and let us begin our foreplay
It's orgy.
exercises. Shall we begin? And so
Yes.
now she's a real actress.
Yes.
But it's just interesting, the whole trajectory of it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like there's a tremendous bad side of it. Just like any job, you have some good days, some bad days. It just
Yeah.
is what it is, right?
Right. I don't. There's a lot of good positives from it. And it's a journey, like you said. It is a journey, and it's fun. It's fun to evolve and kind of get to know your flaws, or like your little thing, like maybe tidbits that you didn't notice about yourself, and about your character, or about like how comfortable or not comfortable you are in your body, or how comfortable or not comfortable you are with certain play styles. And you get to learn a lot about your body in general. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, I bet.
That's for sure.
Parts of your body you never even thought should be visible, maybe even, but it is, right? So you find yourself doing some films, right?
Yeah.
You find yourself on the internet. You find that people found out that they can find you, right? How does it feel?
I don't know. I think it feels the same. I never really got like a difference in the way that I feel as a person, or like in public or anything. I feel the same. And like you were asking about, like how would you bring it up if somebody was like around? People do shy away from being like, you're in porn. I've seen you in like a porn,
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Or they'll just see me and ask me, what do I do? And I'll tell them all the things that I do apart from that, because I think that the porn industry, unless you're going to make me money, the porn industry is something to like look up on your own time. Like, if you were to
Right.
come across, it's not that I'm embarrassed or anything like that. It's just like, it's just not all that I do, or like all that I am, or all that I want you to like look up and try to find like the dark, dirty stuff that I'm.
And don't you think that's like any woman or any man? Like
Yeah.
you don't know what I do when I'm not doing
Right.
this show.
Right.
And of course there's things that I don't want everybody to know that's my thing.
Yeah.
That's my private life,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think, if a woman wasn't doing porn, but she was sleeping with 3 guys at a time or whatever, even if she's sleeping with one other guy besides her guy,
Right.
she might as well film it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. There's no big deal about that.
Yeah.
What about, since it is Women's Month, what about empowerment stuff? Let's talk about woman stuff in general.
Yeah.
Right? So we talked about, the trans thing is not necessarily being a woman. I get that, and I agree with that. Both you and my other guests said the same thing. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But what would you say are the perks to being a woman? Like, you get the door open for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of perks. In my opinion, I don't know. It's a
guys
very
will buy you a
broad
drink.
It's a very no. Those two are not perks. Like definitely not perks. Not perks.
She's like, that's the opposite of help. Thank you.
That's like, yeah, this is not perks. Because I remember, like, in Vegas, there's like a big stigma with like, oh, you're a woman, you can get anything for free, blah blah blah, or you can get in, any club, or you can get whatever you want, right handed to you, like on a silver platter. Literally, never in my life have I allowed myself that opportunity. Never.
Really?
Yes, and I mean that, like, wholeheartedly. I've never once taken like I get to do that for free. Okay. Sign me up. Nope.
Interesting.
Because I don't like the whole thing that comes with that is not a perk. You know what I mean? If I do the thing that I was asked to do for free, and it's, oh my God, what a great opportunity, and then you go and do it, and there's obligations, and there's expectations, and there's like all these things behind the door of
Right.
that opportunity that you didn't see. So I've never been like that type of woman. But I love being a woman. I mean, I'm very happy being a woman. I think that women complain a little too much about what a woman does. Like, oh, you're not a woman. You don't know how it is to like have a period every month and give birth and like
Right.
have these like all these things on the line. And no, it's not true. Men have a lot of pressure. A lot. And in my opinion, they have a lot more pressure than anyone wants to really talk about. And I think that it's really hard being a man these days. Really hard. Especially like, women are a lot of them in society today are stay-at-home wives or like suckers. Like they're just like gonna, suck you dry. Like, and it's not in a sexual favor. It's like fucking like in
Believe
life.
me, I know, yes.
And it's, like they should be sucking you dry, but they don't. You know what I mean?
It just got real. So, yeah,
So-
I totally understand.
So like I think that it's I feel lucky being a woman in today's society, to be honest with you. So
Now, before we started the show and you told me it was okay to talk about anything, I thought it was interesting that you talked about your family life and how they
Right.
took your, I don't even want to talk about the porn aspect, but just, your empowerment as a female comes
Absolutely.
from being who you want to be.
Yeah.
That's really where it all comes from. Like when I first found you on the internet, not in that way, but I found you on the internet. I reached out to you.
Yeah.
The first thing that struck me was like, this girl's fucking fearless. Like this
Yeah.
chick. Who is this chick? How come I never seen this chick before?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you obviously are owning
Yeah.
your own Sasha fierceness. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like you're killing it
Thank
on
you.
your terms.
Thank you.
But a lot of people are intimidated by that, men
Very.
and women.
Exactly.
People don't like it when you're outspoken.
No,
and
they
when
do
you're,
not.
you're different.
They do not. I get a lot of backlash from that. I've had a lot of friends that I've lost. I've had my whole family that I lost. And all of those people and all of those steps is what made me me, and what it keeps empowering me anyway, in a backwards way. And so I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for my life and the way that things transpired. I think that I'm like extremely lucky for that. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful and I'm lucky to have my enemies or people that, have left my life, because I'm not for them. They need to find their own way of understanding themselves and loving themselves, because that's really where that comes from as well. Pushing people away because there's something that is lacking within you that you just can't sort out for some reason. And yeah, I came from like a very old school Middle Eastern family, very, very old school. And it was a definitive decision. You know, basically a sit down conversation that was like a ultimative decision that like in a day. And I decided to walk away because I'm not here to make anybody uncomfortable. I'm not here to make anybody upset or sad or, hoping, for anything. I'm here to be exactly who I choose to be, and the people that come in my life are supposed to be in my life. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that you have to deal with when you're, proud and I don't know, you've built yourself for so long, like you love yourself so much that you can't nullify it. Like I can't like diminish parts of myself for other people anymore. I just can't, and I won't. So it makes people very uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes people uncomfortable. Particularly in my life, it's been a lot of women that makes them uncomfortable, and I understand. I get that, but that's how women are empowered, by women that are empowering others by being them.
Wow. And in the interest of time, I could ask 10 more questions, but we are out of time.
Okay.
And so then something you would say would get cut off. So at this point, let me go ahead and close the show because I really can't close it stronger than that anyway. How do we find you on the www?
www.msredx.com. So it's msredx.com. Has most of my links on there. My IG is msred.x. And then on there also all my links. So
and
that's
that
how you find
is
me.
what's up. It's been the Ace Michael Show today. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you for sharing and liking. And thank you for the emails that we get where people are just encouraging me to keep going, because some days you just wonder if you're even going to ever get to where you're trying to go. And you know what I say at the end of the show, and I still mean it: live the life you love the life you live. Thank you.
Thank you.